Hi everybody, I am James. I am the box office artist, and no, Jazza is not in this video. However, a lot of you know that me and Jazza, we are friends, and I've collabed with him quite a few times. A lot of you started subscribing to me in the past week, so maybe you don't know that. So I'll have a link to all my collabs with Jazza maybe down below, or maybe I'll put a card here of some of my favorites. But he just came out with a coloring book just recently, I think last week, and that's really good if any of you are interested in practicing your digital coloring. It doesn't cost that much at all. I believe it's like $5-6 US, and you get all of these really high-res images and you get to color them, and practice your coloring. And I thought of a really cool idea, and the idea actually came from you guys because a lot of you on my channel, you suggested that I do a tutorial where I draw backgrounds, or do a video where I draw backgrounds, because as a lot of you know, I started off my career in comics as a background artist. I was a background artist at Dreamwave. I did that for 3 years before I actually got the opportunity to pencil a comic book on my own. So it was a great way to start off. In fact, a lot of comic book artists start off drawing backgrounds for other people. Like for example, Michael Turner did that, Travis Charest, Richard Bennett, all those guys did backgrounds first. Yeah, even guys today, Jason Fabok and my buddy Johnny D, they were background artists for David Finch before they got to do comics. So it is a great way to do comics, and it's something that a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of people don't like doing backgrounds, but me personally, I really enjoyed it. I went to school for technical illustration, and then when I went into film, pretty much what I was doing was backgrounds. That's what I do in matte painting, but now I was doing backgrounds, but on a realistic level. And now the foreground characters were actually real humans, and I would fill in their background. So I'll talk more about my film history later on. So what I thought would be a lot of fun when I was looking at his coloring book was, what if I took one of Jazza's characters and background behind it? So I brought that up with him, and we both thought it was a fantastic idea. So I'm going to do that in today's video. I'm going to take one of Jazza's characters from his coloring book, from a video that he did previously, and draw a background behind it. It's going to be a lot of fun, so why don't we get started? So out of all of the very cool images that Jazza produced, I decided to go with this particular character. This is from his 80s sci-fi Egyptian character, so you can check that out down below. I'll have a link to that, and that was something he did in a live stream, and that was a suggestion to make this 80s sci-fi Egyptian type character, and I thought that would be a lot of fun. So I thought, why don't I make a 80s, well, not necessarily 80s, but a sci-fi style Egypt. I thought that would be a lot of fun. And if really, all of this is going to be in black and white for now. If I was going to go into color, I think colors, that would really bring it into the 80s style. But we're not going to do color today. We'll just focus on the actual drawing itself. I actually had a little bit of time in between classes at school, so I started the layout at school just with my red pencil. By the way, I use a Color Pilot Eno-Lead, as a lot of you know. And I just printed out 11 by 17 Jazza's character onto a regular bond paper, okay? 11 by 17 tabloid size paper. If you were outside the North America, that would be equivalent to an A3 size paper, and just kind of roughed out where everything would go. Now, the most important part to the entire thing is the horizon line. Now, if a lot of you don't know what I'm talking about, I actually have tutorials on 1-point, 2-point, and 3-point perspective on this channel. Go check out my tutorial playlist. I'll put the link to that right here. Tutorial playlist, you'll find 3 videos on perspective. If you actually watch that first before watching this video, a lot of it you'll understand way more once you watch those 2 videos. But I knew for this particular video, I'm going to have both 1-point and 2-point perspective playing around in this background, and I'll explain that at another time. But the most important thing was, when I was looking at this, when I'm looking at Jazza's character, I'm thinking to myself, where am I looking at him? Okay, where am I looking at him? And I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna look for, I'm looking more up at him. So I brought the horizon line down a little bit. I started off by making the character like feel a part of his surroundings, okay? So he had to be standing on something. That's why I decided to go with like a foreground building, like right in the front, this big foreground building. Like he's standing on a balcony overlooking the entire city. I thought that would be a lot of fun. and then going ahead and drawing in all the extra buildings. And the buildings I'm drawing here, it's very reminiscent to those style of sci-fi type buildings. It's very Ghost in the Shell-ish, very Masamune Shirow-ish, and also this is the same type of buildings I drew when I did Tokyo Storm Warning back in the day. So it was actually a lot of fun putting these buildings together, because it was like a throwback to me. Like I drew these type of buildings before, but what made it more Egyptian was all the little peaks and having that little pyramid in the back. Just those little touches kind of added to the actual feel of an Egypt. So as you can tell here, I didn't do an overall grid. Of course, if you put an overall grid over everything, of course it's going to feel better. But for me, I've been doing this so long that all I really needed to know was where the horizon line was, and knew that with every object, all the lines had to converge to the horizon line. And that was enough for me, mainly for speed purposes, to actually lay out a grid that would probably take some time, probably take like an extra hour to put together. And I felt like, for me, doing perspective for so long, it's not that I felt I didn't need it, but I felt my perspective was good enough where I didn't need it. But it did show at the end of the day there are some little crooked things here and there that could have been better. Of course, would have been made better by a grid. So it's up to you. It's really up to you. If you want it to be 100% accurate, then maybe you will absolutely need a grid for what you're doing. But for me, I just didn't bother adding one. But for the most part, lots of fun to do, ending off with all these thick lines, okay? Thick lines, and all the thick lines are, and the only reason I would do this is because I'm not coloring it, okay? The only reason I added these thick lines is because there's no color involved. This is just a pure black and white piece. So I needed something that would help kind of separate all the layers. So I even went over Jazz's character and thickened up the lines to kind of separate it from all the lines within the background. So there's a tip for you. The more further you get back, the thinner the line should be if it's just a line drawing. Now, if you are going to bring this into color, there are way more things you could do to separate the layers to make the background feel more behind. But if you're not going to do that, then the best way to do that is by thinning out your lines the more you go back in space. So trying to get as much depth as possible when putting this together. And here it is. This is the finished result. And this was so much fun to do. I had a lot of fun doing this. Really was a throwback for me. Really was a throwback. So thank you, Jazza. This was a lot of fun to do. I'm not coloring it, okay? So there you go. That is the piece drawn by Jazza and myself. This is a real collab. As many times as Jazza and I collabed, we never done a piece together, so this might be the closest we've come to date to doing an actual piece together. He did the figure, I did the background. So much fun to do. Looking at it now, of course, there are problems that I'd like to fix, and if I was using a pencil, I probably would have fixed it, but because it's a pen, my two favorite words, oh well. Actually, no, that's not my favorite word. You guys hear me say it is what it is, but I'll use oh well today. There you go. But lots of fun to do, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hey, you were the guys who suggested that I do something like this, so thanks a lot. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. How do you guys like drawing backgrounds? Do you like putting down a grid? I would like to know your theories behind drawing backgrounds. Let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to hear your suggestions and all your thoughts of videos I could do in the future. Thank you to my man, Jazza. If you're not already subscribed, go check out my buddy Jazza's channel. Also check out his vlog channel, Daily Jazza. I don't know how he does it. Doing the Daily channel as well as his channel on top of that. The one, like, that guy's one of the hardest working men in the world right now. So thank you to my buddy Jazza, and thank you guys for watching. Hey, if you are new to my channel, you looked around, you like what you see, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, well, I will be your friend for life. Hit that like button, share this video with all your friends, or your friends who are friends with Jazza, I don't know. Also, if you're interested in helping me out monetarily, I do have an online store. Link is down below. There I sell prints, I sell commissions, and original art if you're interested. But again, guys, you don't have to buy a single thing from me. I'm just happy you were here watching my videos. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best. My name is James. I am the box office artist. I'm here to say keep drawing, and I'll see you all tomorrow.